Hello again and welcome to the final of our series of brief interviews and introductions to the speakers who will be presenting this year at the third annual CAV Forum in Geneva during the 22nd to the 24th of October this year. And today it's my great pleasure to introduce Meir Magal from Magan Engineering. Meir, it's afternoon now. Yes, good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon.
Very good. All right. Thank you for joining us. We really do appreciate your time. Maybe let's, as we've done with the others, to start off and tell us a little bit about yourself and about Magan Engineering and the work that you do.
Thank you. My name is Meir Magal and I am the CEO of Magan Engineering. My background is going 45 years ago when I'm starting dealing with vehicle and later on with the armor vehicle. On the last 25 years, I'm dealing with myself and my company are dealing with the armor vehicle from small one to the biggest one of 10 by 10 vehicle, 8 by 8, as well as on the lower level is private armor vehicle. Our company was established 20 years ago, and we are about 20 engineering in the company, which dealing not only with armor vehicle, but also with everything that is related for vehicle testing, for any special requirement or any standard requirement, or for any challenge that we are finding in the surrounding of vehicle. Some of them are just heavy, and some of them are armoring, especially in Israel, but also in the US and in Europe.
All right. Maybe you could then give us a brief overview of your presentation at the CAV Forum and some of the issues that you're going to be raising in relation to testing and automotive standards for civilian armored vehicles.
Okay, I choose to speak about the challenge that we meet every day with vehicles which arrive to our company and they are armoring, and the client is coming to us and asks, please test the vehicle and tell us what is the position of the vehicle regarding the requirement of the client, which means that we have to start learning the whole story from the beginning. Who is the client? How he is working? What is the condition he is working? What is the requirement for the vehicle? And for how long he is intended to work, and in which area he is intended to operate the vehicle. We learned in the past that those questions are so important because you can get very, very good armor vehicle, but it will not last more than 1 year or more than 1,000 kilometers. We meet this problem on the last year, unfortunately, in Israel, for so many vehicles which are arriving very, very armoring, but after 200 kilometers, they stop. So this is one of the most important issues that we are dealing with. We have all the capability to make all the measurement also for the armoring, but as well, but mostly the strengths of the chassis, the behavior of the steering, the suspension, everything which is related for the capability of the vehicle to driving on the terrain that the client defined in the beginning.
All right, and it's interesting. And that's why we invited you. Our clients in the industry at large is now more aware and more concerned with the mobility characteristics of the vehicle. And Chris Game from UTAC will be talking also about those issues. And what the industry is interested in is how then their characteristics, their mobility characteristics, relate to the testing standards and the regulatory standards, say, for example, in Europe, and therefore how the armoured vehicle will perform against the required standards for their vehicle to then be registered, to be able to drive on the open roads in the various countries out there. So you'll be covering some of those aspects about the regulatory requirements and how your testing can then assist the client to understand, are they meeting the regulatory requirements?
We divide our activity to two portions. The first one is for army, for any army, in Israel and abroad. The second is civilian vehicle. There is a lot of big difference between them. In some cases, also armies in Israel, special unit or not special unit, and abroad are taking civilian vehicle and armoring them. And the basic vehicle is not changed. For example, the chassis remain the same.
Mm-hmm.
And while you are talking about vehicle which is basically built as an armored vehicle, the whole story is different. So what we are trying to understand when clients come to us with a final vehicle which is done, we have to do what we are calling reverse engineering, to go to the beginning of the story. What is the vehicle? What is the basic chassis that he has? Which suspension? To understand the capability of the vehicle to carry the additional weight and to drive in the terrain which the client are defined.
Understand. Very good. Again, and we're going to be talking about this at the CAV Forum, is the challenges of the mobility characteristics of what is externally and fundamentally still a civilian vehicle. And then with the armoring, that will add 1,200, 1,500, 1,800 kilos. The dynamics change, and their ability to then comply with the regulatory requirements for a civilian vehicle driving, whether it's in Europe or in other parts of the world where the clients will still require European certification of the vehicle. And so those are things that the industry is interested in understanding. In regard to then, sort of as a final point before we wrap up, the challenges going forward for an up-armored civilian vehicle, not a military, but a civilian vehicle, then working within that regulatory environment, let's say the EU regulations. What do you see as some of the challenges moving forward for those civilian armored vehicles?
As all you know, in the last 7 years, the rule in Europe that also armored vehicle, even if it's military, must be registered as individual type approval, small series. I don't believe the WVTA is possible. Maybe for some of German company like Mercedes, they have WVTA for the A8, but this is a challenge to register. I mean, to run all the individual type approval for one vehicle or until let's say 200, 300 vehicles. And there is a lot of challenging, just as an example. The new GSR are now mandatory in Europe. And to meet the GSR, the global safety regulation, with those vehicles is not easy. This is something from, let's say, from the regulatory part of the problem. The second one is to determine what is the right additional weight which you, as test engineering, will agree to approve for a vehicle which add additional weight. I give one example just to understand this issue. When you take the Land Cruiser 200 or 300, and let's say that the weight is, the GVW is 3.3 tons, and the payload is only 700 in Israel, for example, but all abroad, our vehicle from armor manufacturing in Europe are about 5.5 tons.
Okay.
How long such a vehicle will last? So it's dependent on the driver, it's dependent on the terrain of this vehicle is working, it's dependent on how you maintain the vehicle. Not every 15,000 kilometers like you said, we have to do it. For example, what we are doing, make the maintenance every 2,000 kilometers. Just as an example, so this is a big challenge. We are in our company have a map of adding weight for armor vehicle. And based on the additional weight that this vehicle have, we determine the weight of the testing that we are done. So this is a big challenge. We have, let's say our internal mapping of how we are testing vehicle based on the base vehicle and based on the additional weight that the armor company had to this vehicle.
Indeed. Excellent. All right. All right. Look, thank you very much for your time. We very much look forward to your presentation. This particular year's forum, the focus is very much on, or certainly increased, the focus is on mobility issues, on maintenance issues, fleet management. As you rightly said, the longevity of a vehicle has a number of factors, of which, yes, the weight, the characteristics of the vehicle, the terrain, and yes, the maintenance. And we'll be going into that in more detail at the forum. So, Meir, thank you so much for your time. We appreciate it, and we look forward very much to seeing you in Geneva at the end of October.
Thank you very much, Rob.
Thanks indeed.